Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker trying to destroy Adam Driver's Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi flashback. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee. Hello there to all of the returning subscribers, but if you're new to the channel and you're just finding Star Wars Coffee for the first time, be sure to always hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. And don't forget to check out Star Wars Coffee on Twitter and Twitch, and don't forget to check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise. Links are in the description below.
Do it!
And now let's go to a galaxy far, far away.
This is the way.
What's actually really cool about what we're going to do today is take a look at something that Dave Filoni said from a meeting about the sequel trilogy in terms of what Rian Johnson was wanting to do with the flashback of Luke almost destroying Kylo Ren, or at that time Ben Solo, and from Kylo's bedchamber. So, in that flashback point, Rian Johnson makes a comment and then Dave Filoni makes a comment, and we're going to take a look at both of those. So, Rian Johnson said, Luke is very fallible, absolutely. He's got a lot of guilt that he's covering up, and that will do funny things to you. To which Dave Filoni responded, I think Luke understands that it's not about what he wants. It's not about what he gains. It's frankly about what everybody else gained. Sometimes you have to be the one that carries that burden and becomes that vessel. These aren't characters that go and get married. They don't get over the scar. Frodo from Lord of the Rings carries the ring to Mount Doom and for the rest of his life is plagued with fear. On certain days, he remembers those pains because he has to carry that burden, and Frodo has no peace until he leaves that world. Luke is that character. And that's from a comment Dave Filoni made on May 21st, 2014. And so this is when they're doing the kind of treatment outline for the sequel trilogy. And there wasn't an overall plan. Mark Hamill's been on record saying that, as well as a number of other actors. So what they had done is they were giving each of the filmmakers at the time, J.J. Abrams, Colin Trevorrow, and Rian Johnson, to do whatever they wanted in their story and kind of just hand it off as it was a baton race. And one of the things is J.J. Abrams kind of set up Luke to get this ominous thing so that Rian Johnson could do whatever he wanted with the character. Little did anybody know that Rian Johnson would completely turn Luke's whole personality around. And Dave Filoni kind of figures out a way to kind of justify this change by saying what he had just said about not getting over the scar. So that flashback we see when we see that when Luke decides to almost look into Ben Solo's mind, see the darkness within him, and then decide that it might be better if he had just destroyed Ben Solo at the time, and that he wouldn't have become Kylo Ren. Now we see that when Rey is having a conversation with Luke on Ahch-Tu, right? So we get the two different versions of the story. We get Ben Solo's perspective, who is now Kylo Ren, and then we get Luke's perspective. So the justification of what Dave Filoni is saying of when Mark is never able to let go of that fear is essentially saying that's why he had to isolate himself there, because of this mistake he almost made that was literally somebody so close to him that he almost destroyed, out of the fact that he was going to try and preserve other things. And what this ended up doing is putting so much fear into the character of Luke that he ended up becoming paralyzed and not able to continue going forward. And this is exactly what happened, especially if you take a look at Luke's recollection of that flashback scene. The sadness and fear in the look of Mark Hamill and his acting ability there is really on display. And then even Adam Driver's look at Luke is something that you would say, what are you doing? What is happening? This doesn't seem to be possible. And so, while I don't agree with the way that Rian Johnson handled Episode 8 in The Last Jedi and the whole storyline, what Dave Filoni is hinting at here is truly hitting the nail on the head and saying that this, we can't change Episode 8, right? So we have to put it into the context, and Dave Filoni, if anybody can do the best job about that, is him, because he's like the Star Wars encyclopedia. He's like a walking data bank for that. And I think what Dave is saying here is truly correct. And I think that this kind of changes my perspective on the character of Luke and why he had to isolate himself on Ahch-Tu. So let me know if this changed any of your guys' minds as well. Again, Dave is such a genius when it comes to that, saying that, comparing him to Frodo and saying that he was plagued by fear and not having any peace, and Luke is the same way, until he's able to justify his actions and kind of retcon his own actions at the end of The Last Jedi when he's taking on Kylo Ren. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. May God bless you and the Force be with you always. If you enjoyed this episode, and frankly, even if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe.
Do it.
And if you want to help spread the word, please give this video a thumbs up and tell your friends to subscribe. Please check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise, and don't forget to check out all of the content playlists on this channel, including The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and much more.